So I will go nuclear on this video, and I will say that straight up, that I'm not very happy. And the majority of people in Cavan are not happy with this in the slightest, And particularly our councillors and our TDs in Cavan said pretty much nothing, didn't denounce this fella as a traitor, because that's what he is. He's Quisling. He's the Cavan Quisling, and that's what he's going to be known as the day he goes. Is the Cavan Quisling. He's betrayed his county, and as particularly as a former Lord Mayor and a former councillor, he shouldn't have betrayed his county. And we all know the Quisling's name, Sean McKiernan. He's in prison thankfully for a few years. He should be probably there for the rest of his life. And funny enough, no councillors have ever denounced him. Has never shouted them down. Because they should be denouncing him. They should be denouncing him as a traitor to his country, a traitor to his county. They should be. They really, really should be. And none of them are out. None of them said anything, as far as I'm aware. None of them said boo all. So I don't know what they're doing and what they're trying to do, because they should have all come out and denounced them. And his picture shouldn't still hang in the council chamber. And I think it's a disgrace to the people of Cavan that the councillors won't take it down. And it should be burned outside the courthouse. That's what it should be done to it. But long story short, the impact on Sean McKiernan, particularly because there's many aspects to this, you have to remember, that it's undermined trust in the fair. And again, the councillors won't admit it, but it has undermined trust in the councillors and in all the councillors, even if they're there now, even if they weren't there when he was there. It's undermined trust in the councillors and in the Lord Mayor's position. And we hear nothing from our current Lord Mayor about it, because it has been talked about. It's been said to me several times that since that they've looked very differently on their councillors. Because they're saying, what happens if another councillor does this? And again, it's undermined trust in the system. And again, it's never been talked about in the municipal authority. You think they would say, we have to try and get people to trust us again, because they don't seem to give a shit. And the Lord Mayor at the time and moment here, doesn't seem to give a shit much of it all. Because there's a huge lack of trust, particularly over this. And not to mention, too, the fact that Sean McKiernan was over a charity to do with mental health. And as you know, and as everybody knows in Cavan, so many young people particularly died of suicide in this county, were left abandoned by the state. And still to this day, young people have been left abandoned by the state. And we have people like Sean McKiernan, who was a former councillor, former Lord Mayor, taking a position in the charity and taking money off the charity, taking nearly €300,000 off a charity for his fucking South American prostitutes. Fucking what kind of a country are we? That they would tolerate this and he only get a few years. It's absolutely disgraceful. Like, it's treason. Like, in my view, it is treason against the state. It's treason against the people of this county. And the fact of the matter, that no harsh sentence was ever given. And what I mean by harsh, it's very, very harsh. The rest of his life. Or sent to somewhere that he would never come back from. What I mean by that, send him to South America, stay over there. We don't want them here. Nobody in Ireland wants anything to do with him. But this is the thing, and this is the reality. This is the simple truth, that even the charities in Cavan, the GEA, other organisations, voluntary organisations, I've seen people now, and I've seen it myself, and I've even heard of it myself, people that do fundraising, and they've been went out looking for money for charitable organisations, and a lot of people in Cavan now second think it. And they used to always second thinking anyway in Cavan. Cavan people always were fucking mean. But let's put it this way, they do second thinking, and even myself, I second take it. I do really second take it, because there was a charity event one time, and I give in a few euro, and I did second take it. I was like, what happens if this fell over the top of this charity is like this Sean McKiernan fell, and that's what I was taking to myself, and a lot of people in Cavan are taking the same, because he was in the position to trust, and for years he got off with it, as far as we know. For years it was never brought to the attention of Garda Síochána of the state. So, and again, we don't know. And the simple time, we don't know who over these charities, who are they, and are they trustworthy? And, Sean McKiernan obviously is a former councillor, former Lord Mayor, betrayed the people of Cavan. It's caused great upset and has a huge impact on Cavan. And it will for the rest, probably the next 20 to 30 years, it will. Because people still find it to this day. People are still fuming over it. And as I say, none of the councillors have said anything. It'd be different if some of the councillors actually did something and took his picture down and threw it outside and put a bit of gasoline on it, and that'd be the end of it. But this is the thing, nothing was ever done about it. Nothing ever was done about it. No councillors. You think they all would have, what should have happened, there should have been a statement released by the councillors, by all the TDs, denouncing his name as a traitor to his county, and to basically send him to the South America, probably revoke his citizenship too, I would nearly suggest. But definitely high treason, whenever you look at high treason, to betray the Irish Republic for South American people. And then other stuff too, taking drugs, and God only knows what other kind of shenanigans, or what other kind of fucking God-forsaken thing that's happened in this county because of him. But it's caused a huge lasting impact, That's what I'm trying to say. And I particularly, I said this before, and some of the councillors know I said this before. I've said this before, and it never was addressed. And this is the thing: if they would have addressed it, maybe it wouldn't be such a big problem. But they never addressed it. The media in Cavan kind of slowly went on and didn't really address the issues, because the issues at hand are still there. What I mean by that is the trust in the system, that a former Lord Mayor, and take for example, could do such a thing like this. That the people that elected him to his office in Cavan elected him of the trust, the position of trust. And again, there's loads of councillors getting loads of expenses, and nobody knows even who half of them are. Let's put it that way. Like, half of the people don't even know who their councillors are. But this is the thing: been no kind of mending of this. What I mean by that is there's been no effort in the Cavan establishment to try and mend this, to try and make right. Because a lot of people in Cavan are very, very bitter, including myself. I'm extremely bitter about it. It didn't even happen to me, but I'm extremely bitter that he would do such a thing and bring such shame onto the county and to the people of this county. And that's just the simple truth. The shame and the sheer disgrace, that's the word, disgrace he's brought on this county is beyond belief. Because we've talked about nationwide, as it should have been. But unfortunately, along with him being the former Lord Mayor himself, has brought the county into this repute. And let's put it that way, it's brought the system, the whole system, from the charity sections to voluntary organisations to the county council, the Lord Mayor, etc. Even though he was a former Lord Mayor and a former county councillor, it still has brought it into this repute. And that's what I'm trying to say. And there's never been anything to address that. And there's never been any will to address that too. Because none of them really want to deal with it, because a lot of them would have been councillors when he was there too. Now, if I was a sitting councillor, he would get a lot worse, let's put it, in terms of what I would say. But he is a traitor. There's no other way of putting it. But it has such a lasting impact on this county, and it needs to be talked about, because it's unforgivable. It is unforgivable to take from a mental health charity for prostitutions from South America, etc. And not even that for his own drug uses, etc. And not even that to betray the people of Cavan by being put in a position that's supposed to help people, particularly young people. That's what really affects me. That he was there as a position, as a head of the charity, to look after young people's mental health, to get them seen to look after them. And he used that money for his own self-worth. And particularly when there's so many, and this is the thing, so many young people that had their whole lives ahead of them, committed suicide in Cavan because they couldn't get any help. They were left far too long. There was no help for them. They were left abandoned. And for somebody like this to take advantage of that is evil. That's the only word I will use. But again, it has a huge lasting impact on this county, and it should be talked about, and it should be addressed, because the impact it's extraordinary. The impact, still to this day, people still talk about it, and the fact that there's very little justice in it. There's very little justice in it. He should have his pension stripped off him too, and given to charity, given back to the mental health charity. He should never get a penny of the Irish state. That's as simple as that. And he should be probably left squandered in the streets at the very least. If he doesn't be deported to South America, which I would suggest we do. He can stay there. It's not. He should never be allowed into this county again. What I mean to say, never be allowed. Even to this country, should be sent away and never told never to come back. Because it's, as I say, it's unforgivable. There's no redemption from this, and there should never be a redemption from it, because it's just heinous. Thank you.